The Therapist and the Coach podcast is a space for real relational conversations about what it means to be human.
In a world obsessed with fixing, achieving, and self help, we invite you to pause, lean in, and discover the wisdom already inside.
Together, we explore how healing, growth, and transformation can happen not in isolation, but in connection.
Through open hearted dialogue, we challenge the myth of self regulation and self improvement, offering instead co regulation, psychological safety, and the power of being seen.
There we go. Recording has started.
Here we
Hi,
go.
welcome, Oren.
Hi, sweet. How are you?
I'm good today. How are you?
Fantastic. It's a beautiful day. It's sunny shining at this time of the year. I just love it. It's kind of like not really summer. It's getting towards the end of it. It looks so beautiful. The
The
trees.
shadows are
I
getting
wish I could show you
longer.
my backyard, but it will not work. So
Oh, I
to seeing
was
us.
gonna say, do show us your backyard, Oren. I
Just
could
lots of
do.
beautiful, imagine beautiful trees all green and shiny and sun is shining. Imagine like so much, something so beautiful that you soak it, you just feel immediately you feel better.
Oh, how lovely. And isn't it wonderful that that's what you can gaze on throughout the
Yeah,
day?
exactly. Well, you have some
I
some
do
some
have
nature
some.
around you. You
I
have the
do. There
building.
is some left after the fires. There's a few trees here and there, but it is beautiful. And one of the benefits of the trees being gone actually is that we get these beautiful sunsets now that we didn't see because the trees around us were all really old coniferous trees and just blocked out that beautiful end of day sunset. So we get those now.
And that's just so it reminds me that since the pandemic, and it happened to me, but I know it happened to so many people that we just stay home a lot and we don't go out as much as we did. And every time I do go out, because it's so comfortable to be at home, I don't have to go to work. I work from my office here. But how wonderful it is to be outside and just soak just the sun, the trees. I know it's something that people talk about, but we kind of forgot what it is to be in nature and just kind of like
Mm.
get some real fresh air, real love from nature.
Well, you know, it's interesting because, and I think it ties into what we would like to talk about today and continuing from our last podcast. I think it was episode 22. So this is episode 23, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
Um, is I started a self-care practice in the morning, actually. And that practice is after doing some research around nervous system, cortisol, like it's all tied to my stage of life, menopause, postmenopause, that whole stage of life. But also just recognizing that, and I've come a long way. My sleep is excellent. My energy is big. And I attribute that to a couple of things that I've started doing. I've committed to 10 minutes minimum of unfiltered sunlight because apparently that sunlight, so in the winter, it gets quite dark here. So I've ordered a red light, one of those infrared
Yep,
lights,
yep.
the safe lights for that gives you that same stimulation, but how important that is for our cells to function properly. And it's
Yeah.
the unfiltered light that we need. So I take 10 minutes and I read. I haven't read since my children were born and my daughter just
Wow.
graduated at 18. So I haven't read because I fall asleep at night and my mornings are always full or busy or involved with school and blah, blah, like all this stuff. But now my kids are older and they don't need that kind of care in the morning or support and they don't want it
Yeah.
also.
Oh, my
So
mom.
I know. So I've got this beautiful routine of my walk in the morning, and then I sit in the sun this summer for 10 minutes minimum, and I read and get that unfiltered sun when
Yeah.
it's shining, but still just being outside in
And
nature.
really be away from the screen. I mean, we're just
And
so
oh
much on the screen, on the phone, on the computers. I know people kind of, we've been told that and we say that. But truly, we're constantly on the screen, and it is just no any actual biological interaction with nature, with light, with just quietness that is not digital.
Mm.
And that's just we forget how damaging that is. It's tiring. It's really tiring for the
It
system.
is tiring. It's draining. I have blue light um, care in all of my lenses, like my glasses and my contact lenses, because I'm on Zoom all day.
That is, yeah.
Um, the other thing in my research, there's two other practices that I've started that have
Yes,
been
yes.
life-changing, and that is a lymphatic drainage
Can you
exercise
say a little bit
routine in the
about that?
morning. Lymphatic drainage. So it's this, so our body is made up of lymph, which requires hydration.
Yeah,
As we age, it becomes more brittle and it stops our joints from moving. It's the fascia, it's everything that connects our joints to our bones,
yeah.
and it's the system that runs through each of our lymph nodes, and we have specific areas where those lymph nodes drain, and they get congested. And so the body can't function on a cellular level and loses energy. And from sitting, you're not moving. So you're not moving, you're not flushing those lymphatic systems, which is why yoga is so good, which is why walking is so good. Trampoline is excellent because it drains. So a lot of
Yeah.
people who are going through cancer therapy might do lymphatic drainage exercises, but it's so good for anyone. So that, and it takes me 10 minutes in the morning, the full routine. And I'm not going to do it for you here, but it's a lot of body movements and
A
like
lot of
full
body
body
Yeah, yeah,
movements,
yeah,
and
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah,
That's
and lots
fantastic.
online about it.
Yeah.
The other thing that has completely changed my life is I do 10 minutes, and this goes to this the being on a screen, either on my phone or at the computer sitting, my shoulders and my neck moving forward like this as a, from typing or whatever. I
Kind of keeping the posture.
keeping the posture, but right before I get out of bed when I'm most relaxed, I start. I guess I've been doing this for about a month now, and I it has increased my energy, decreased my sense of stress and pain in my neck and shoulders and mid back. I basically just flip my legs around, hang my head over the edge of the bed for 10 minutes, and I start my alarm 10 minutes early. And I just lie there and my whole neck relaxes and stretches. And I start my day like that. And I feel like the weight of the world is off my shoulders.
That sounds great.
It's incredible.
It sounds great.
And I
It
have so
sounds
much more energy for the day. And really that entire practice, my walk is an hour, so that's a bit long, but it doesn't have to be that long. That's just my thing. But the lymphatic drainage routine and the 10 minutes of the neck thing, oh
incredible.
my goodness,
Well, thank you
life
for sharing that.
giving.
That sounds amazing. I didn't know that. I mean, I know that what you said, I knew that, but your suggestions and how it sounds doesn't sounds like hard to do and doesn't take too long and gets you bring your body up to, up in energy and also
It
get you to
feels good and it's
feels good.
gentle. It is
Yeah.
gentle. It is
And I
so
like
low
I like
impact.
that part.
Yes, it's gentle. It's not hardcore. And yes, a woman my age should be lifting heavy weight. And I'm in the fall, I'll be working that into my routine. And again, it doesn't have to be a lot.
No,
So I just wanted to share that because we were talking about
thank you.
self-care. And so what that brings to my life is more energy, a clear mind. I'm not experiencing brain fog anymore. My sleep has improved. My mood has improved. It's more regulated. You and I have talked about regulation. It's
It
so
is regulation. It is self-regulation. It is really important.
so I'm better for my clients and better for myself and better for my life. So,
Yeah.
we were talking about that. So I'm so
Well,
excited about
thank
my
you,
little
thank you,
routine.
thank you. No, thank you for sharing that. It's really important and wonderful information, honestly. Um, one of the things that I have been doing for many, many years, done different things, but something that for our professionals, for
Mm.
our profession, and talk about the helping professions, whether it's coaches, therapists, psychologists, whoever it is that holding space for others, because we do hold eventually space for others.
Mhm.
So we need to make sure that our reservoir is empty enough to get other people and contain them. We have many
Yeah.
children, right? We
Yeah.
have we have many children throughout the days. And I'm not talking that people are children, but I'm talking we are in a way in the parent position, in the one that needs to contain a lot. And we both know that it's tiring. It's not easy. Sometimes it's even pushing because we might have what we call countertransference, that somebody is actually experiencing something that bring it to us, and then we feel exactly because of our trauma. And that's very difficult for us as therapists and coaches. And that's where we need to also get help to resolve our issues in order for us to be the way we want and they need us. But I'm thinking about like the most elementary thing that I've been doing for years is that I wake up in the morning, do my stuff little by little, water, water first.
Water first. We
Water
wake up
first. These
dehydrated.
people,
Yes.
people, water first before coffee.
Yes. Yes.
Before
100%.
anything else, glass of water. I know that I repeated 3 times, but it's important.
Mhm.
And once I know where I am. You can see that I'm here on Earth and know my name in the morning. Then
Yes.
then I go to the couch for 10 minutes. I don't look at any of my phone. I know many people just like the phone is next to them, immediately look that. I was guilty of that, and then I stopped it because it's such a horrible start for the day.
It brings the noise in.
It
It's
brings
like
the noise
all
in
the noise.
before you even system just kind of like
Yeah.
got ready,
You're
just like
deregulated before you
it's
even know.
almost like kind of like open up an engine of a car and immediately start going that the engine is not up to temperature. So the simple thing that I do, and I do that also between sessions. This is why I don't know how it is in the coaching industry. Do you guys have block of an hour or it's 50 minutes?
45 minutes generally.
45 minutes. So we do that 50. Doesn't so the 10 minutes people ask me why 50 and not an hour? And it is in a way, not in a way, like I need to breathe some air before I can have an air to provide to the next client.
Mhm.
So it's in a way self-care in order to also being able to provide. Imagine you constantly from one to another. It's like by the end of 2 or 3 sessions, you're done, you don't have anything to offer. So what I do is in the morning is like I take like 10-15 minutes and I'm just sitting, as you said, with my just like in a way in a meditation position when I'm very rested, but sitting grounded, spine erected, but comfortable, and just sitting for 10-15 minutes,
Mhm.
just sitting. I'm just sitting. I don't do anything. I
Stillness.
don't even start doing, if I want to do meditation, then I do meditation, but I'm just saying it's like a simple practice of nothingness. And that nothingness, the brain might all of a sudden, after the night, the start getting back into temperature, and then it start getting thoughts. So all I do is just mindful of that and let it be exactly how it needs to be. It can be crowded inside. It can be however it needs to be. I don't plan to do. I don't go do that. I'm just breathe. I just breathe and just kindness, just sending kindness, connecting to the not to the light, but mainly just sitting and whatever needs to come comes. Now, the thing is, people think like, oh my God, I wake up and immediately I have so many thoughts and I'm just like, it's okay. People want to get rid of it. Like, I want to get clear. But if your mind needs to be busy, means that a lot of things needs to be addressed. They're coming for a reason. It's like now, so many times we shut it down because we think we're not really clear and we're not in the peace and with the one. It's just a myth. It just doesn't happen that way. Even to very experienced meditators like monks and that, they're sometimes their minds are very busy, and they say just let it be.
Mhm.
So by the end of this 10-15 minutes, sometimes I see 20 if I can. My just kind of like an anecdote by my meditation practice for over many years. taught me that 20 minutes to sit. After 20 minutes, no matter what happens, you'll see a shift when you get up. Even if you're very busy, even if whatever it is, sit 20 minutes, the mind kind of eventually go that. And so no matter how it was that you thought that it went, by the time you end that, you will see a shift. You'll see it. You'll see you are more regulated. You might still busy, but you're more regulated. So that's what I do. And then after every session, what I do, I just literally sit in my chair. If I need to go to the bathroom or whatever it is, I do. But before that, I just sit in my chair. If I have 5 minutes, if I have 10 minutes, if I have 1 minute, I close my eyes. I just stay there for a couple of minutes. Whatever happens, it's okay. Just give you permission to sit 5, 10 minutes, however you have, with whatever comes, and be kind to whatever is. That's it. And that helps within the day, I feel. Um, in terms of just kind of like getting some, especially catching some air for myself, you know? It's just like, you're a mom, you know what it is when the kids are constantly that you have this and you have class and you have this and you have all of that. And it's like, and emails, and we just talked about it this morning, how, I have so much to do that we don't catch our breath. We don't have a single moment sometimes to just like,
Mm.
So even if it's very, very busy, it's okay because it's processed. And you might still be busy, but you're doing something very good for your right brain, for your reservoir to clean, to reduce a little bit even. So
To
that's
recalibrate
to call
and
exactly.
come easily into the day as opposed to.
Because what we do is tiring. I mean, I can imagine that any coach, any that working with people in organizations and dynamics, and it's a lot to hold.
Well, it's a lot to hold in your head.
And so many times
And
in your heart also, because there's a lot of dynamics that are happening. We are affected by that.
but we're also immune to it. If
We sometimes develop, well, we have to
it's the
survive.
dis
Yeah,
but it's the distraction.
yeah.
So you know, um I I I appreciate so much what you're offering as a way to enter the day, and you're entering it with intention, with presence, and with self-connection in a calm way. And
Mhm.
I appreciate that so much because really that's what my walk is too.
Exactly. A walk would be like that. A
Well,
walk
it's
would be something.
intentional. I'm not
Yeah.
listening to music. I'm not,
No,
it is
right,
quiet. Yes, I'm
right.
walking my dog, but I'm intentionally in nature, open to receive whatever nature has to offer. And I'm not even necessarily aware of what that is all the time. Often it's birds, or sometimes it's a spider web in the face.
You just connect to the quantum field. That's what it is. You
Yeah,
you
and
connected. You
it's
connected in a way.
quiet. So
Yes.
that quiet, and I think I forget that because I've done it for so many years and it's my non-negotiable practice. I think that's another concept that we could talk about because it sounds like your sitting practice, which I really appreciate the fact that you haven't made about doing, because I don't know how many people, including myself, I've talked to about, well, I can't meditate. I don't meditate. I can't meditate. I can't sit still. Well, for me, it is better to be moving and out of my house because I'm just in this. It's hard for me to calm down when I'm in all the things that need to be done space. So for me to go for a walk, I just receive. It's just, there's so much that nature brings me. And the quiet. That's why I get up at 5:30 because it's the quiet. I
Yes.
also know people who that noisy brain, they might roll over because this is what I did for gosh, a good 12 years when I started my coaching journey was journal. And the journaling, the 10 minutes minimum, like you were saying, like I say journal for 10 minutes, set your alarm, get up early, before your feet hit the floor, write for 10 minutes minimum because it changes. It goes from noisy to there's some depth to it or some kind of breakthrough or and sometimes I used to write, I don't know what to write, I don't know what to write, I don't know what to write, and then I'd start writing stuff. But all
Yeah.
that noise kind of gets a place to go
Yeah.
and then start my day.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so I think that two things, entering the day in a mindful, quiet, calm way, whatever that is for you,
Yeah.
is a beautiful with a focus on being versus doing, and
Exactly.
recognizing that if I let the noise in, the noise of the phone, the noise of the doing, the noise of the scheduling, the noise of whatever, that if I let that in, that's how I start my day, is with the noise.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's hard to come back to regulate that as opposed to starting in a grounded space.
Absolutely. You set up your day to a tone, to a vibration that you are clear.
Mm.
And you mentioned something so important that so many times we're doing even the right things. Let's say that we have to wake up in the morning and we go to the gym and we're doing Pilates and we're doing meditation and we're doing journaling and we're doing this,
Mm.
where you mentioned something so wonderful that you do that suit you, which I'd like to take that as an example. It's something that is Lerae. It's like I can feel from you, and I know you also because we talked about that, how amazing it is that you waking up in the morning is the time that nobody wants anything from you. You don't, it's before the store is open.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and 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 then you walk, with your dog and with your thoughts and whatever comes, you don't need to think about the sun and all of that, but you are cocooned in warmth and kindness of nature that is already there.
And
And
intention.
that helps you. And that's so what you mentioned also, because I mentioned like something very passive is actually sitting, not doing anything. But in a way, you're not doing anything either. Even the walking is actually regulating. I
It's
want people
rhythm.
to understand in the right brain. So many times you see people that are fidgety with their legs, kind of like that. They
Mhm.
try to regulate. Why is the leg is bouncing, the eye is moving sometimes. It's all the nervous system try to actually overcome something that it cannot. So it's all movements that regulate the right brain, where all the water, all the issues, and all the stress, all the whatever it is we deal is like that. It's like water. It's not a computer that we can solve. It's like, then again, if we want to to give love, we need to give love rather than say I give you love. It's important. So what you're doing is, and people do that too. A lot of people just running. They run in them. They just love running. It regulates them.
Mhm.
Or movement, any kind of movement that it's automatic. It's not a chore. It's helps you to actually, while you are walking and moving in nature, it
Mhm.
really, as you're doing that, it regulates your system. You didn't
Mhm.
schedule to do a workout. It's very different.
Mhm.
And I think that what I'd like to invite people is to stop looking at what's really good for you to do and start looking what you feel
Mhm.
that it's seamless for you, that you actually regulate.
Beautiful. Yeah, what you feel to do, what you feel called to, what your whole
Exactly.
body can align with effortlessly. And
Everybody needs something different.
yes, and find so someone said something really impactful to me. So I brought up this idea of non-negotiable. That's a coaching topic, which I'll come back to. But the thing that somebody said to me that was really useful, important, and resonated with me is that find what works, do it every day. Now, life is about learning to surf too, because sometimes the wave of things. So it's about going with that too. So okay, I can't walk because we've got early morning appointments and it's just not going to fit. I come back to the next day, or I do it later in the day, or I just let it go because it's one day and I know I'm coming back to it.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that commitment to self, but I'm also, if it changes, because it used to be yoga. And then yoga wasn't doable for one reason or not, because I was injuring myself. Like it wasn't something I could do consistently with presence, and it wasn't working for me anymore. So, it's that fluidity and being open and checking in, is this still what my
Exactly.
body needs?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
then have it be a non-negotiable, because there are, and that concept for me is very helpful because I'll find myself adjusting. Okay, I know I start an hour early today, so I'm going to do a shorter version of my walk. with the same intent, with the same everything. It's just shorter, you know. But again, or
Exactly.
if I can't do it a day, I know I'm getting back to it as soon as I can. So I don't move into that space of self-betrayal. And I know that that word is strong, and some people don't like it when I use that word, but I find that not being following through with what I say I'm going to do for myself erodes self-trust, and it's then that affects confidence, and it can actually affect negatively and be the opposite of what we're trying to do with these self-care habits, which is why what you're bringing forward with, let's start with what feels aligned and what
Hmm.
feels like the place to start, and let that be enough.
Hmm.
And if
Exactly.
you feel to add to it at a later date, like I know, like I want to add weights, like I'm ready because I love lifting weights. It's been a part of my life since I was 19. This is the longest time I've gone without it, but not now. Like it's not time. I know I want to do that, but I'm not going to force it. It's going to be organic.
Yes,
And it's going to come together in a beautiful way that is easy, not, with ease.
it's exactly right.
Mm-hmm. So why are we talking about this stuff?
Because we talked about we're talking about what it I think it has to do with something
Oh,
that
self-care
we said
and
about
being
self-care, but what it is to be us also coaches, therapists. We are having a unique
helpers.
profession that is not dealing with numbers, we're dealing with people.
Yeah.
And because we are also people, we are constantly affected by that. The neuroplasticity goes both ways. Our
Yeah.
clients also shape us, and we have our own life, our own history. So we're doing something that we carry a lot. We carry a lot, and it's so many times just a lot. It's tiring.
Hmm.
We don't
Hmm.
even know how tired we are. It affects our life. So, but what I want, if I may, I'd like to add to what you said about the self-care in terms of like the commitment to self. I think it's important to have commitment to take care of yourself. How is it that you need to take care of yourself? Like, I'll give an example that is throughout my life, gym. I used to work out all my life. I'm still working out. But as 20 years old, I want to be in the gym all the time. Lift weights as hard as it is. I don't like working out.
Oh, you don't? Oh, I love it. Okay.
Not anymore, not anymore. But I know it's help. So for me, it's secondary gain. I do that because I want to be in shape. I want to be healthy. I know it helps me. With that said, my experience with gym is people going, or not only gym, go all the way in and get burned out because it's not in moderation. And sometimes they don't want to go and they do go anyway because they decided that needs to be. So we need to be very careful.
Mm.
Or let me put it this way. I hope we can be moldable, that we can be flexible with
Flexible,
the
agile.
boundaries that we have with ourselves. So I noticed that when I go to the gym, and my gym right now is in my house. I don't have to drive anywhere. But I'm saying that because so many times I don't even want to go down to work out because I'm tired and I don't feel like it. I don't have energy. And honestly, just because I don't feel like. And even if I said to myself, I'm going to work out tomorrow and I'm exhausted, it took a while to get there. That's where self-care, that's where really self-love is where I say, I'm sitting with myself, do I know I want to go? Half of me convincing myself to go because I know I'll feel better after that. I know I know it. And at the same time, half of me say, every part of me say, like, I have nothing in me to go there right now. I don't want to. So what I do is that now we wake up every day with different energy, different thing happening. We might, so many times I find myself, my goodness, I had so much energy after I talked to Lerae in the podcast, and he gave me so much energy. Man, I feel like right now I can go to the gym and want that. So I'm more flexible with that. And sometimes there will be a week or two, sometimes three, that I won't touch anything. And I'm okay with that. Now, is it am I completely okay with that? No, but I prefer to listen to what I need at that point of time. And that what allows me to go to the gym since I was 14. So I
Mhm.
still keep the practice that I know is good for me and I enjoy the benefits from it, but in a way that I don't have to really force myself to go. And then I know that I won't go for months
Yeah.
because it builds up so much resistance inside that you ditch it and then you go somewhere else. So
And then you end up this seesaw, then you've got to get back to it and you've lost the gains that you had, and it becomes this.
it's in a way like a long-term investment in the stock market. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're basically needs to kind of have a longer vision of if you want to be healthy and you want to do the maximum without torturing yourself.
Yeah.
And that's just an example of something of self-care is to really listen what you need at that point of time.
And that word is personal discernment, judging, but also trusting. There's self trust in there. If I don't trust myself, then I might be really rigid with myself. So, but if I
Right.
don't give my space to build that self trust, by give myself permission to not go that day, and then maybe the next day, but go back the following day, or whatever, if I build that trust over time, it becomes a practice
I
that can
completely
be
agree with you.
agile and you
100%.
can be flexible with because you trust yourself in that
Right.
space.
And you see that it works actually, that you're not really if you don't push yourself with a whip constantly, that because in a way you don't trust yourself and the process.
And when we care for ourselves or develop that relationship with self, we can give that more to others. And that also,
Two thumbs up.
yes, yes, yes.
And that's the trick. And this is something that we've been talking about, and this would be an example. If you really treat yourself that, so I have, okay, so I didn't go that, but I just, you know what, I really was okay. And even if I had judgment, and so many times I do have judgment on myself. It's not that easy. You know, I'm saying like, shit, I just should have gone. I know I would. And I said, no, but I'm kind to myself. It's back and forth. It's not like I'm a robot and I can do that. But as you said so wisely, is that over time, I do go to the gym.
Mhm,
I do maintain pretty much
mhm,
similar body since I was
mhm.
young. So that's doesn't have to be that I'm killing myself.
Yes.
And if not, let's say that also that's another thing is like accepting ourselves the way we are as we're growing, right? I mean, our metabolism, Lerae, yours and mine right now in this age is not the metabolism that we had when we were 20s. So then do we accept ourselves? Let's go to the narcissistic need inside, which is a different topic, but it's to give ourselves like, my goodness, just love ourselves the way we are. Like I
Mhm.
know it's kind of a cliche, but just to say, my goodness, give yourself a break, you know?
Well, what's interesting is that it was difficult to love myself in my 20s. In my 50s, I look back and go, why didn't I love myself then? And so I need to tap into that wisdom. Before we close, I know we're coming to time, but there was a really important distinction that ethically I feel I need to make between coaching and counseling, because if I don't address it, and I think we're often saying the same thing just in different ways. So, but I just needed to speak it out loud from more an ethical standpoint, um, because you were talking about carrying a lot for your clients, like working with people and having that be heavy. And one of the things that actually had me leave coaching was that weight, or sorry, counseling. I was 25. I was out in the practice. I was doing family and child therapy and counseling, and I didn't have the capacity for it and the maturity. I don't think either. And that's when I took off and went to live in Greece and also avoided my student loan, so that was a whole thing too. But anyway, um, it was too heavy. What coaching brought to me that I could not find in counseling was actually that I didn't have to carry my clients, because coaches see their clients as whole, resourceful, and capable, and living into the answers to their questions, and that their questions are coming up because they're ready for it. They're seeking the answer because we're not giving them the questions. So we're meeting them where they are, with that desire to grow towards an outcome, not from a doing, but a whole developing human space. So I actually have a practice. I think I've mentioned this before, and it's one of my self-care practices in what I do is I long ago with my mentor coach, which is another self practice, getting the care and the support from a coach on going. So I have a place to be fully expressed and held and supported, helps me bring that to my clients. But I imagine this bowl, this beautiful bowl, and I see it so clearly in my mind. It's a beautiful wooden bowl, and I'm gesturing with my hands in front of my, between me and my computer. And before, when I was early in my practice, I just imagined it because I was on the phone, and everything that my clients would say and offer and bring to the session goes into the bowl. It doesn't reach me. It's not mine. So it
Yeah.
goes there. So that practice gave me permission to not carry anything for my clients. And I know that the depth and the work that you're doing in counseling is different in that way. And so it's how I'm seeing my clients from a coaching mindset, that I just needed to speak to the difference there, because we're often talking about the similarities. And again, it might not be that different, but I just needed to make the distinction because you had sort of projected that we were carrying the
Absolutely, and thank you
same.
for saying for doing that. Thank you
Yeah.
for clarifying that. I have a lot to say, but I think we're running out of time, right?
No, but can you
Um,
capture it somehow?
I yes, I think this is the I think essentially we're not doing different things. So
Hmm.
when you because when you mentioned what you guys I'm talking
But
coach what you
yeah,
guys doing
yeah, yeah,
um being with them exactly where they are, um trusting their resources, trust that they're ready. That's a problem that I have with because I don't know if they know what they're ready. So, but essentially, in essential, we have the same aim. We want to help.
yeah.
We want to help them to have a dynamic problem or impasse that usually has to do with relationship, right? I mean, I would
Hmm.
guess that's true to
Hmm.
coaches too, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. At
So
the
when
at the very essence of it, yes.
right, so when it comes to relationship, so I do the same thing. You know, I want to help people to solve their, they're not happy, they have dynamic problem, they're not really living the life that they want. They suffer from that reason or another, from something that they cannot really fix by just doing.
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah,
more has to do with a pattern that comes to the present. So that
yeah.
if you try to change with what they think that they say, let's say that you see somebody very capable, like CEO or whatever, that can be an employee, that are very capable in one thing, but usually the problems is they can be, let's say, incredible computer programs or coordinators or HR, whatever it is that they do. And at the same time, they really struggle in relationship that has nothing that, so they might be very open to hear
Hmm.
about that. They have a cognition, they have awareness, they want to do the work,
Hmm.
where underneath, this is the patterns that they bring is not solved by be different. It's like if you're anxious, I cannot tell you not to be anxious. I can be with you. So the being part for me as a therapist, so we're coming from the same places.
Yes, we are.
But I'm tackling the underneath
Yes.
because I know that I have many people that says like it's like, yeah, I don't know, when your son was 4 years old, said, Mom, I want to be a firefighter. And he's really sure that he can, but he's 4 years old. And so the same equivalent to works that many people think that they understand what it is. We can even have a shared identity and share intention, but underneath that, there isn't capability from that reason over the other, because usually people bring their own stuff and it just doesn't align.
Yeah.
So for me, then again, we talked about the relationship, we talked about what we're doing. I want to do the same thing. And I know that in order for people to actually be capable of changing the pattern, is to go to those things that actually do with human experiences that
Yeah.
we as parents, we as coaches, therapists, whoever that
Yes.
might be, that as we are there with them in terms of right brain, emotional regulation and understanding them, their capability will grow and then we'll bring them to where we think that we want.
Yes. So yes, we're talking exactly the same thing. And I think the perception might be different. Because another distinction, because you had talked about, we're holding kids all day. as a result of the child with the younger part of the adult that is coming to therapy. Um, I don't see it that way. I don't see I understand that parts work. I understand that that happens. And I do at times access the older, more evolved uh, self to converse with the younger self. Like that is part of what naturally, organically emerges. I see I'm working with the adult, I'm working with who's
Yes,
in front of
yes,
me.
yes.
And something that's getting lost in the profession, in the education, now, not everywhere, I have to say that, but I have seen is when to refer.
Hmm.
When to refer, because there's a difference in coaching between, because yes, the past is going to come into the present. It is going to come into the present as a barrier of some kind. And because of the incredible healing power of relationship and the trust and safety of the helping relationship in coaching, in counseling, there is healing that happens. So there is so clients can simply identify a barrier and then go, oh, I don't need that anymore, and actually let it go and move forward. Yet, if they also at times might bump up into something, and what emerges, I need to be ready to identify is that, oh, this is the same thing. Oh, this is the same thing. Oh, this
Right,
is the same thing.
right,
This block keeps
right.
showing up as a barrier,
Yeah,
and it's not a coachable issue. This
right.
is where we need to refer.
Yes, that's very
And
true.
that is getting missed because there is a way that you perceive and are educated and experienced to work with those deeper places and spaces. So,
Right.
you know, so I just,
I,
those are just the things that I needed to take a little extra
but
time
it's
to
really
talk
important
about.
also, and actually listening to you, and I know we're close to
We,
out of
well,
time.
we're out of the time that we set, but it's our podcast, so we
So
get to
yeah, we can do whatever
share
we
it.
want, right? That will be an example of
And if
that.
nobody wants to
We
listen, they
need to
can just,
stay here right now.
yeah.
But just to kind of maybe wrap it up and say something about what you said that I actually really like hearing, and I agree with that. The coaching is actually using doing more of the adult part, or more of using the things that the mechanism that is already there,
Healing forward, if you will.
moving forward. Right, and moving forward is then again doing most of it. It's
But the being has to be part of it. Like
right,
it
right,
is a
right, right,
holistic.
right. But the intention is to work with the resources that you have also as an adult, as a whole being, rather than looking going to the child part.
And recognize what's not working and identify a
Right.
new way of being that is aligned with what you want.
Right. And that's
And
where I get to the picture and say so many times you get to how you want to be, but that becomes a wishful thinking.
and
Because
and and it
yeah,
emerges organically in the session, but the coach
it will
has to,
emerge over and over
yeah.
again. That's the thing. So this is the thing that I'd like to that is that even if we're able to help, and
Mhm.
it's not that hard, it's one of those things that you say, do this, do that, you will feel better if you do what we just said. The problem is, are you having the energy to wake up in the morning? Are you anxious? I mean, it's like what really how hard it is to for us, it might be, yeah, waking up in the morning doing this and this, this. Some people are waking up, can barely even waking up from bed because they're so depressed or they're so anxious they don't even know what is for them it was not. So it is the combination of, and that's where I am coming to the picture as in therapy, which is distinct from coaching,
Mhm.
but the combination of them also, and you are absolutely right, we need to also talk when is to refer to actually a deeper work,
Mhm.
but it's not either or. That's what, and I think you said it
Yeah.
yourself, it's not either or, it's both. And
Yeah.
while maybe uh, coaching is more aligned with a left brain, let's look at the partner, let's see what we can do to change it. No.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna go, I'm not, we have to talk more about that because that's a misconception.
Okay, so we will maybe make more of the distinction in all of that the
Yeah.
next time we'll talk, because I think they're really intertwined. They're just different ways of actually completing each other, maybe.
Yeah, or yeah, and inviting depth and healing.
Right. And
And
inviting depth of healing because I do a lot of, when I do coaching, it's also a lot of left brain. I hear
yes,
that some things are
yes.
not that. We're changing that. But if I see the pattern in the room that is not that, I'm not going doing therapy, but it's the same, it's equivalent. I'm not calling therapy, but
Well,
I'm there with them exactly the same I am with somebody that just to be with that.
which is your way of being, seeing in the relationship. And here's just to illuminate or amplify some of that distinction that we're talking about is that I have had people from therapy come to me and say, I can't do therapy anymore because my therapist isn't allowing me to grow. So so they come to coaching looking for a playground to put together all these places and spaces because the therapist is not in a space to
And
see
that's a
the
huge problem.
right. So
Yes,
it's and it is in coaching as well from that standpoint. If I
of
don't know
course it
where to
is.
refer, then I'm limiting the coach's capacity. And I want to tie this back to what we're talking about because this is something that I've experienced is that in there's been periods of my practice over the last almost 30 years where I look back and I know I've stayed with a client too long. And
Yeah.
and it's been my commitment to seeing them in a certain way that has stopped me. But also, I'm going to also really be vulnerable and add my own need. I was committed to the change and I believed in the change, and that was about me. I wasn't able to see, this human being actually
That's
is
not
not
selfishness. That's kindness, what you're saying right now.
well, but it kept that relation. Uh, it was a lack of self-care on my part that it was a period of time where life was really busy. I wasn't really attending to my practice, basically just trying to maintain through everything. And all my self-care practice were out the window and I did have nothing to give, very little, but I kept showing up because I had to quote work. But to your point earlier, I'm not going to a store and punching in numbers. I'm not selling
Exactly.
clothes. I'm
Exactly.
I'm working with people. And I
Yes, and
have
you
an
are a person
ethical
too, right?
responsibility
Yes,
to take care of myself because
yes.
I can see looking back how I might not have served the highest good. And it's okay, like I've forgiven myself.
Yeah, of course you
But
do.
and
We all do
for the
that.
highest good of
We
the
all do.
human in front of me and what is emerged, I couldn't see it. I was blind to it because I wasn't attending. And I couldn't at that time because I wasn't taking care of myself, which goes back to this, who's holding the caregivers that are giving and helping and supporting, whether it's a coach, whether it's a so anyway.
Whoever that is, and you know what, also like at some point you're getting really burnt out. When we are constantly within the mission we're missing first of all the point, obviously, because we're doing exactly within the right named helping, we're not helping because we cannot have anything to give. But second, also for us and for obviously others, there is a difference between when you wake up in the morning and you have good night's sleep, and then you see the people that you love. It's like, oh, good morning, versus a night that you don't sleep and you can't see anything, you can't do anything. It's like you suffer. We don't need to suffer. And in the long run, especially in our professions, whatever the differences are that are actually more minimal than we think, we're just coming in different ways. But
Mhm.
it's life. It's just also therapy. People say like, oh my God, when I'm going to be healed, when I'm going to be ready. We came to experience. We're going to have things to work on for the rest of our life.
Yeah.
It's not a task. It's growing. It's expanding. It's rest with it. It's okay. You don't have to be perfect. What you said right now about you, if I could, I had the same thing. I experienced the same thing. I'm sure that thousands of people in our profession and others are absolutely can relate to that. And we get to a point we can realize that. We couldn't realize that when we were 20s or 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
But it's okay. That's what growing be. That's just being letting yourself being human, not like perfect. It's
Well, and there's some sacred geometry out there that makes it okay, because if it's sacred and it's old and it still holds true that we're all connected in some way, that how we are
Okay.
meeting each other somehow is what is meant to happen along the journey. And it gives a lot of permission to, um, so I'm thinking the flower of life and the meaning of the flower of life and that interconnectedness, that it does give permission and
The permission to
grace
be
to,
exactly how you need to be with me.
and that it's okay because somehow that was what that person needed. Otherwise, they would have left. Like they're because
It's
people
exactly.
act in
It's
their own
exactly.
best interest,
It's exactly.
and that is true. And I'm just really grateful for this conversation because it does bring me back to, I have a coach for many, many years of my practice. I did stop when I had both my kids for a year, and then I would go back to having a coach. I've had different coaches over the years. And now I'm looking for community. Now I'm looking for shared lived experience and wisdom and like just this conversation and being able to say to you, there
And
was a
imagine that that's what
time.
we're doing, that's what we're doing as coaches and therapists together in the room, and we don't have to do anything other than just talk about what it is to be us, what it is to be with our clients. I mean, it's just the air of connection between us, among
For the
us.
sake of connection, not
Exactly.
for healing.
Not
I
for
mean,
anything else.
it
No.
is an outcome of the
Yes.
relationship because that's
Yes.
what relationship is. It's a healing, it's a
It's actually really
filling,
easy.
nourishing
Yeah, exactly.
space.
Exactly. And imagine we are together with that. Now we were together and we're going to see, let's say, work to see somebody.
Yeah.
We're coming very different, regardless of
Yeah.
what we talked about, because we just kind of like had kind of like together. We were together with that. We didn't fix it. We didn't that. Just what it is to, and everybody has their own experiences, and that's why I think the community for professionals is just so needed and not often provided in a way. Just a place, kind place that we can't wait to be together because we share the same, in a way, life. Not same life, but we're in the same boat with that.
Yeah, different
Different,
experiences. And so
but
it shows
human
up
experience.
differently. The
Yeah,
stories
yeah.
are different, but there's always resonance
But it's
because
always resonance,
of
and the common denominator is the same.
yeah.
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 So
And I think that's what I'm seeking and really looking forward to. And I trust the timing of it all as well. Is that community and that connection because I always marvel at, I call it magic of how
yeah,
whatever comes into the space is somehow and perfect. And I don't mean that in the sense of perfect, but in the sense of just right
that's
for the moment,
exactly.
and for everybody that's in the space
It's
somehow.
just what needed. It's just what needed. Just to be together with all of it that each and one of us are going through, that probably we can relate to each other.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for this
And
extra
thank you.
time today.
And
And
hopefully we'll have a wonderful, happy day and week for everyone. I think next week you're going to be out, right?
oh yes, I'm going to be taking some self-care time, a couple weeks off to catch up with life and myself. And so we'll be returning in September
And
for
that is
episode
wonderful.
24, and we'll
And
just keep it
may
going.
you have easy, fun time where
Thank you.
all the tasks are away and just
Thank you. Oh,
having
I'm going to do some tasks, but I love my work. Like, I just need the
less.
space for it. I
But
love
exactly,
it. Yeah.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
And much care. And just for everyone who might be listening to this, be true to you and all you do. And may you reflect on the self care practices that you feel will be nourishing for you at this time.
Amen.
Amen. All right, my friend. Be well, and I will see you next
Hallelujah.
week. Hallelujah. Yes.